It is that time of the week again for Freddy's Power Rankings. Yes, we're almost into the fourth round. Bring it on, Brad Fittler. You're alongside me.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Can't wait.
Some great performances last week.
And we're in Tracy's studio to discuss it all. You love it in here, don't you? Feel very special. All right, let's get stuck into it. Having a look at the teams first before we have a look at individual players. Starting from the bottom, number 10, South Sydney after their first win. They're staying right there. The Bulldogs too in ninth on the back of their win. A narrow one, albeit 20 points to 18, Brad, over Penrith.
Congratulations to both those coaches getting their first win in the NRL. They had their bite back now. They scored 3 tries, and I think they were that convincing with the tries. There's an intercept here to Josh Morris going the distance. Oh, geez, that would have hurt the lungs at the end of that. I don't know how old Josh is, but he still looks like he's got a little bit of speed left in the legs. But just the way their defence, they got up in their face. They got some errors out, and when it got to 14-0, look at that. That didn't mean much.
The Hulk. How good.
Yeah, when it got to 14-0, they got in their face and got some errors out of Penrith, and that's what really stalled their fight back. So, really good sort of Canterbury-like win.
Okay, let's continue up the rankings. The Cronulla Sharks sitting in 8th in Freddy's Power Rankings. They haven't moved. The Panthers dropping 1 from 6 down to 7. And then the Tigers in 6th. They've dropped from number 2 after their first defeat, albeit controversially on Friday night. The Roosters, they're on the march from 10th to 5th, and rightfully so. And the Melbourne Storm, they're in the 4. They've jumped from 9th, Brad, after their comprehensive win, the grand final rematch.
Well, a couple of things about this win. It was just business as usual. They had a bit of a sort of dusty start to the start of the season. They got beat by the Tigers down there. But you can see they had a game plan. It was to run over that left-hand side defence and just attack Jonathan Thurston. They had Big Nelson Asai for Solomona just causing unbelievable amount of damage there. And they just kept going. For a Cowboys team that had Matt Scott, Tao Malalo, Jordan McLean, Jonathan Thurston, Michael Morgan, they just didn't bust a great. Storm, they just ploughed through them, and I just feel like they've just hit that rhythm, and they've got like the likes of Nelson Asofa, Brody Croft's finding his rhythm there, they're finding his place in the team, and Cameron Munster, he didn't sort of do that much last week, but he didn't have to. It was all over the other side of the field, so they were strong.
Big move for Melbourne up the rankings. Big move too for the Broncos. Back-to-back wins now after a slow start to the year. It's from 7th to 3rd. It was controversial. Jermaine Asako, the man of the moment, no tries, all off his boot.
Well, the Broncos found a little bit of kryptonite. Like old Supermen, the West Tigers, they found something to beat the Roosters. They found something to beat the Storm, but they couldn't quite get the Broncos. I just don't think no one's given the Broncos the credit they've deserved. Now, they've taken 4 goal kicks, which is a really smart plan employed by the coach. If someone wants to keep giving penalties away, why don't you take goal kicks, which Melbourne Storm didn't the week before, and they would have won. They had 18 penalties, Melbourne Storm, and didn't decide not to take the kicks. And then Jermaine just turned up as well, kicked the field goals and kicked the winning goal at the end. It was quite incredible. It was a dodgy end, but the Broncos found a way to win against a team that had had beaten Melbourne Storm and the Roosters. They were good.
First time the Broncos have won a match without scoring a try. So a bit of history there along the way. Bit of history too for the Warriors. They are in 2nd in Freddy's rankings after going 3 from 3 for the first time to start the season. They've jumped a couple of places.
They're good.
But no surprises. You've kept at number 1, who are also unbeaten this year, the St George Illawarra Dragons. And didn't they do a job in Toowoomba on the Titans?
Yeah, what was important is they racked up a scoreline because the Titans were poor. Their defence was crap, and they did. Well, they could have got there, and if they beat the Titans 20-16, then all of a sudden you're saying, oh, yeah, but your opposition. But they just smashed them. Have a look at the ease in which they slipped through the defence. The halves are playing unbelievable at the moment. Their back rows, mobile. They can pass the ball. Tarek Sims come up with some great plays, especially on Conrad Orelli. They had a bit of a scuffle early, and then he got 2 errors out of him late in the game. So, young Matt Duffy, this was the second of his 3 tries, or his third of his 3 tries. It was quite impressive as well. But across the board, they are looking slick. Everyone has come up in front of them. They beat Brisbane easy, who needed an attitude adjustment. They went there and got the local derby. They got Cronulla, and they fought from behind against a huge wind, and then went up there against a lesser team and smashed them. So they're the real deal at the moment.
How good. All right, let's go from the teams to individual players that feature in Freddie's Power Rankings
Righto,
after 3
here we
weeks.
go.
You like Trent Hodkinson for the first time. He's in your top 10.
He got dropped.
And he's been binned straight
What?
after that because Matt Moylan's back for the Sharks. But great little cameo in the Sharks win over the Eels. Robert Jennings, wow, the man of the moment in the Rabbitohs' first win of the year. He features for the first time in your rankings, bro.
Yeah, 3 tries. A couple off Alex Johnson and one off Greg Inglis. When I saw the teams at the start of the year, when I did my review on South Sydney, I thought they're wingers. I didn't know Richard Kenner. And Robert Jennings I didn't think was fantastic last year, but they have been some of the real strengths in the Rabbitohs, some great finishing. And when you score 3 tries, it's no easy feat, but some really tight finishes. And yeah, I thought he was great.
Okay, let's power up the rankings. In 8th position, Cameron Smith, the Storm skipper in the back of that grand final rematch on Thursday. Jermaine Asako, the Iceman, with his 4 penalties
He's
and
cool
field
too.
goal.
He's very cool.
He's going to go very well,
Slick.
that young man. Isaac Luke sitting in 6th in Freddie's Power Rankings. The Warriors hooker, he's looking fit and nasty. Matt Duffy, try after try after try on Sunday afternoon. And then big Sammy Burgess is there in 4th spot, leading the Rabbitohs to that inaugural win of the season.
He was the alpha male out there the other day. Look at that. Give me the ball. It's mine. Get out of my road. He did that the whole game, come up with plenty of errors. He was running hard, really set the tone for the South boys. Look at that, bang, offloads. He's a class act, and you can just see he's getting that little bit of that look in his eye back. And you know, when he owns the middle of the field, and they've got someone like Cam Murray who can play lock forward, I think is really helping Sam out. He was sort of going from lock forward to front row, and their jobs changed a little bit, but I like Cam Murray there. It's real speed, gets quick play of the balls, and that just allows Sam to just focus on just being that dominant male in the middle of the field. He's just not coming through here.
Speaking of domination from some of the big boys in the competition, the Storm's Nelson Asafa Solomona.
He's a beast.
Oh, it's scary to stand. He looks like one of those Easter Island statues. He's enormous. And straight after him, number 2, going up from number 4 last week. He's 2 games back, and he looked good last week, even better, Luke Keary, in the Roosters' win over the Knights, Brad.
Here's the only player to feature 2 weeks in a row, Luke Keary. He's just the... he's what they need. Cooper Cronk's doing his job and working around, and Luke Keary has just been incredible. Look at that pass. He's popping up where he needed. The impressive part of what he's doing, though, it's his defence. They send plenty of traffic at him. He's making all his tackles. There was one on Aiden Guerra, which was a little bit, got his head in the wrong place, but apart from that, he has just been absolutely sound and exactly what the Roosters have needed.
They've got that combo going too, don't they? Cronk and
You
Keary.
get intimidated by Cooper Cronk. You can stand back and watch a bit too much. He doesn't. He just gets here, and every opportunity he's getting the ball, so he's doing a good job.
Look, very good. Number 1 in Freddie's Power Rankings for the players.
Oh, yeah.
After 3 rounds, Moses Mbai, he was the star of that doggy show against the Panthers on Friday.
Well, he's been the star for the Dogs in their losing 2 games, but he had an opportunity here to make the Power Rankings because their team won. Not many losers get into the Power Rankings. Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. Gets a nice try here, busts through 3 or 4 tackles, but it's his speed. I haven't seen a fullback find so much space. He had 17 tackle breaks. I think he had about 5 there. 17 tackle breaks. He's just like had spiders on him.
He's got that number 1 jersey for good now, doesn't he, Brad?
Yeah, well, you can see he's happy. You know, obviously he's done the work in the pre-season and all that, but he was their best player in the 2 losing games they had, and then it just showed. You know, if you can just get on the back of him, they need some more around him, create just some other interests across the park. Because at the moment, there's not much coming from outside him, so he's going good.
So are you, Bradley. 3 rounds in, your Power Rankings on fire,
Righto.
as always.
Thanks, Trace.
There you go. How good's it been in the studio? I haven't put a jacket on for it. Thank you, Brad. Freddie's Power Rankings for players and teams after 3 weeks of the NRL.